Good morning. What's up? What's up? Come on in. How we doing? We are approaching 28K here on NQ Futures. That's Nasdaq Futures. You're looking at a 5-minute chart. We're 60 seconds out from the close of Big Bar 24. Big Bar 24 just took out the high of day. That was, I should say, the wick high of bar 1. Now the high of day is the wick high of the current bar, is what I'm trying to tell you, of bar 24. Rejecting after taking out just barely the wick high, which is rather typical with what we've been seeing as of late in the market. Also 28K, of course, is something to think about here as a round number. That's a tier 1 level. We've been dealing with 28K. It seems like a lot here in this market as of late. So let's hope that we don't just range around it all day long. What do you say? With the volatility being what it is, I don't think we're going to see that. ATR is 73. You're on a 5-minute NQ chart. Good morning. How we doing? Rose, Stu, Jackson, Big Dogs. Roland, Mike, Tina, Yosiel, how do you say it? Javaz, Big E, my man, Manuel. Brother, how are we? News, Gamma, the whole gang. Come on in, man. We got a whole bunch of work to do here today. I love when ATR says 60, 70. Currently sitting 68. Hesitating a hair right on bar 25 here around the new high of day. That's not entirely unexpected since we're also dealing with 28K. Next setup, I'm in. KP, Trev, what's up? Edge, how we doing? Now, you know, it's been a little while. I feel like we should kick off a Tuesday here. It's been a little while since I've checked in with everybody, huh? Edge says just got that stop hunt tremendous. All you guys in the chat, does anybody have a goal, I should say, or a milestone is the word I'm looking for, that they recently hit? What I'm looking for is you passed your first eval, etc. You know, maybe you first finally got to 5, 10, 15, 20 fundeds. You got funded at multiple prop firms. You took your first payout. You hit your first $10,000 month in payouts. You hit your first $50,000 month plus in payouts. Anybody? Anybody? Roger, how are we? Brag about that shit, homeboy. You know how few people will ever take any sort of money from the market in general, let alone a trading payout. It's a difficult thing to do. And if you're doing it consistently, you should be fucking proud of that. It's a big deal. Big John says first payout just hit my account. My man. My man. Feels good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Whether it's a prop firm payout or a personal account withdrawal, I will say, I think the first time money that you earned through the market hits your bank account and you go, I can go buy a pack of steaks with this. I can pay my mortgage with this. I can pay my rent with this. I can pay my car payment with this, or my insurance or the light bill, or I can go buy a car. It changes something in your brain, or you're like, shit, man, I can go out to dinner. I can go to Macca's. We can do whatever we want. Roland says I can pay my taxes with this. Fucking damn straight. It changes something in your brain. I think it makes you look at this a little differently because as silly as it sounds, because we all know why we're here, before that money, that first money, I should say, ever hits your account from the market, I think you look at this as a little bit mystical, right? Like, yeah, but like, can I extract it? You're like, I know I can, but like, can I really? And then it hits, and you go buy a beautiful dinner with it, and you're like, holy shit, it spends the same as the money from my job. That's crazy. All right, big bar 25, minute 13 out. John says, ready for another payout. Cheers, brother. Make that 100 more payouts. 1,000 more payouts. Gamma says, passed 3 evals last week. Most I ever passed in a week. My man. Tremendous. Keep it up. All right, we're 35 seconds out here from the close, by the way, a big 25. $10 points away, coming into 28K. Second test here of the day. By the way, we're up driving out of a 400-point hole. That is something else. All right, rolling over here into the open of 26. ATR 64. Now, of course, I'm interested in getting long. However, we're kind of in that situation where it's like, I've seen this movie too many times. You come in, you take out the high of day, which was the wick high 1, right? You also come in simultaneously to a round number, 28K. Tier 1 level, not an S tier level, but a tier 1 level. Which, by the way, it's not like it's a coincidence that that was the previous high of day. And then you start to slow, and you can see a sideways range. Now, I'm willing to, I should say, step ahead of that possibility if I get a proper long setup here out of the bulls. Which is going to be determined by how this bar, maybe the next bar, but especially this bar, close up. But, gotta keep in mind, it's pretty common to range around those, at least the first test of the day, that big level. Rose says, bull trap. We'll see, brother. Awesome says, is there a bar that is too early to trade? Like, could you take bar 2, or is that too early? You could certainly take bar 2. The one consideration I would have on bar 2 is that it's a very large bar. Now, is it outsized? Well, we don't really know yet because we haven't determined volatility of the day. But based on a reasonable assessment, if you said bar 2 was outsized and you passed, I'd say fair. If you said, well, we couldn't really be sure if it was outsized yet, it was similar size compared to bar 1. Bar 1 and bar 2 were very clean, so you got short on the close of bar 2, sized down, risked the wick high at 2. I'd say, great trade. Now, if you said I sized up on the close of bar 2 and got short and risked the high of day, I'd say, in prop accounts, I don't know if you have too much business doing that. That's sizable for a reasonable assessment of bar 2 being a large bar. To size up on it and then also increase risk when the environmental context lately has been mostly range, not tremendously trend. All right, minute 48 out. Let's see what we get on 26. I want a nice clean close. Is it the highest quality? Well, as it sits right now, no, it's certainly not the highest quality. You got 23 and then 24, kind of a reset on 25, now 26. Obviously, I want it to close above the wick high at 24. It would be the first bar to close. Looking at 28,000 as well. Potential range here around 28. but with an ATR of 70-ish, 67, and the range on these bars in the 40s. I'd be alright with it, but not the most exciting trade of the day. Alright. I don't like all this hesitation beneath the wick low of 24 as well as right around 28K. So I want to see a much stronger close. I want to see these bulls take us up, swallow up that wick. Don't grow this too much more. And if they can, I've got a big stop limit buy for these bulls. And then we find out if it ranges, don't we? Alright, bulls, what you got? See that? That's what I don't like. That's what I'm concerned about. You see that last second hesitation? I better get this out of here. See that last second hesitation? We suck back inside the wick high of 24. You think that's a coincidence? That's the little nuance that basically everyone misses because they're not paying attention. Not into it. That right there is a sign of potential range. So now we need to hold off and watch. At least I need to hold off. You do whatever the hell you want. And I need to watch 27 and see if 27 can put together a nice bull body. I would actually be happier if 27 could do it over 26. But you already see here, bears trying to suck it all back after 26. Closed inside, wicked back a little bit to close inside the wick high of 24. By the way, all these numbers I'm spitting out here, these are bar numbers. I'm counting the bars from the New York session open. If you don't count your bars, you're tripping. It makes your life so much easier. Yeah, ATR down to 63. You see this little infatuation the market currently has with 28K? We gotta get away. Get away from 28K. Otherwise, we'll probably range around it for maybe 45 minutes, which I don't want. Bull hesitation here. Now, I would imagine whether or not the market moves up, down, or sideways, of course, is based on the balance between the bulls and the bears, correct? So, when you see a market that's going up, bar 26, start to pull back slightly, bar 27. You have different options, right? The bull demand, you could say, the buy decision demand, could be staying the same while the sell decision demand increases. They both could be changing, or you could see vice versa. Okay? So where, you know, the selling pressure stays the same and the buying pressure decreases is what I mean by that. And then obviously the other way around in a bear, or I guess a bear move coming back into a bull move scenario. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. So in this scenario, I think this is much more the bulls hesitating which gives the bears more perceived power rather than bears just massively stepping in comparison here. And the reason I think the bulls initially hesitated here on 27 is because this hesitation on 26, the immediate hesitation off the open of 27, and then, the bulls step out a little bit, get a feel, and now they're trying to step back in. Selling pressure, probably all held equal, at least close enough. Okay. 42 seconds out. I like that the bulls are trying to step in now. Let's see how this guy closes up. Bar 27. All right. Stop limit buy goes out. Place him, roll over, bulls, grab it. Let's see if they want it. And they do, so I will get filled. Stop goes out. When volatility's high, it's a little tough. Get that stop right where I need him. There we go. All right, ATR 60. Risk is about 50 points. I should say 1R is about 50 points on this particular trade. All right, let's see what these bulls got. Let's make sure these bears don't come on back and range it, which is obviously the risk here. There's always going to be a counter risk on every single trade that you take. You should consider that first. ATR sitting 61. Cell phone says, interested in RAM, super technical and dreadfully disciplined. My man, it's not dreadful, we love it. Can I tell you how good it feels to have discipline be this easy? It feels tremendous. Because I wasn't always like this, so I know how it feels, I know how you feel. They say trying to apply things to my own style, ATR to determine size was a big one. Thanks, Nico, appreciate you, my man. Glad to have you. Come on, bulls. Let's go. ATR still sitting at 61 here. There you go. Keep that pushing. A lot of work still to do here, bulls. Whole bunch. All right, that's a sizable wick there on the close of bar 28, rolling over into 29, which means that I have to leave my stop and everything else as is. We got these bears trying to pull us back to 28K. I don't think so, bears. ATR dipping below 60, sitting 59.5 here now. All right, minute 55 out here till 29 closes up. ATR sitting at 60, nearly on the dot. All right, bulls. Let's say it's about time, man. 18 seconds. And we'll get a new bar. All right, here comes the rollover. Bar 30 opened up. All right, now, I don't want to see this turn into a sideways trading range. That is, of course, the risk here. ATR sitting 57, coming down a hair, bar by bar. There we go, bulls. Got a whole bunch more work to do than that. Come on now. Big Kenji says 1,940 bucks payout from Take Profit Trader incoming. My man, you hit the button at Take Profit Trader and it's in your bank. At least this is always my experience. It is in the bank before I can even open to check the accounts. Some of you guys don't get it, man. Take Profit Trader is tremendous. Code BIG! B-I-G, baby. Daily payouts. Right now, the deal at Take Profit is 40% off, and you will not pay an activation fee if you use code BIG at signup. The activation fee is $130. They wipe it if you use code BIG, and it's free when you pass. All right, so we got bar 28, 29, 30, all going relatively sideways here since entry. ATR now sitting at 55, which is still more than an R, so I'm cool with it. Manuel says they pay quick. Yeah, they do. They do. Take Profit Trader is huge. Gotta love it. There we go, bulls. Yeah, it's like halfway to target for me, so I'm gonna need a big old push. ATR 57. Kenji says, I'm at that stage as a trader where I'm taking payouts. I just got to keep it consistent and disciplined. Do not fall into the trap that so many people do. They take a few payouts and all of a sudden they think they're God. And they just say, I can size however the fuck I want because I'm taking payouts now. Big dog, do what got you there. Okay, just think about how nice it would be to be taking those as consistently as possible. And say, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what got me to that point. I'm telling you, it adds up. It adds up. A month goes quick. It feels like it's gonna be a long time, but it goes quick. And by the end of it, you wanna have a whole bunch of payouts to add together and look at that number and say, holy shit, this is crazy. Can you believe people told me not to do this? Is how it's gonna feel. You don't need to make it all in one day. Well, the Bulls are taking their sweet time. That's okay. ATR 57. Oh, these bulls, man. ATR is going to tank if they keep this up. That was a little wiggle, huh? Better stay ready here just in case. Feels like one of those markets. All of a sudden you get a wiggle, and that wiggle is 45 points. Alright, ATR is now 52, still better than 1R. So that's fine there on the ATR. I was going to need a reasonable push here out of these bulls. Nico, what accounts do you have? Is it close to 20? I have more than 20. I'm maxed out at Apex. And then throw in TakeProfitTrader, right? So this is 20 fundeds at Apex plus others. Guys, look, unless it's a money thing, okay, let me just tell you something. Is it a flex to have 20 fundeds at Apex? To be like maxed out? Yeah, you should be proud of it. But like, that should be your baseline for yourself. Okay, because look, I mean, if you can pass 1, you can fucking pass 20. Just scale, dude. Unless it's a money thing where it's like, well, Nico, homeboy, the real world big dog, I can't afford 20 activation fees. I get it, dude. You think I haven't been on my ass fucking broke? Come on, you know the story. My wife and I slept on a dirty fucking old mattress on the floor in a shared apartment that if I got caught living in with her, by the way, I'd have been kicked the fuck out. Actually, we both would have been kicked the fuck out. Spiders, this big, homeboy. I would wake up to them crawling on me. So would she. It was fucked. I get it, okay? But you gotta scale, dude. You're worth 20 plus funded accounts, I promise you. And if you can pass 1 or 3 or 7, you can pass 20. Just scale, get to 20, go to another firm, get to a few or max it out, and then, get to a third. I will tell you, from personal experience, once you get to 3 prop firms, 4 prop firms, the management side is a pain in the ass. It really is. But I think you still should. But day to day, 2 prop firms I feel like is kind of the sweet spot. 3 is also great. 4 or 5 prop firms every single day is annoying. I've done it. It's very annoying because you're like, okay, what's the rule? What's the nuance over at that prop firm that I'm trading a little bit newer? I'm a little bit newer to it. Oh yeah, I have to do this. So how do I size myself? It's like you spend half the morning trying to figure out how to set your position sizing, making sure all your accounts are set. Okay, how am I at payout? Do I need to flip this account today, or do I need to be aggressive on it? What do I need to do? It's just such a fucking 4 or 5 prop firms. While I think you should scale to multiple, just heads up, warning, you're gonna spend more time on the management side. 2 is easy. 2 is really easy. 3 is still fine. 4 or 5 is annoying. All right, Bear's trying to pull us back to 28K here. I spent 25 minutes, man, just sideways. Can you believe it? If the Bears are going to want my stop, they're going to have to earn that shit. They're going to have to get down through 28K and down through the wick low of 27. Not too bad of a close out of those bulls. Nothing for me to do though as far as management. So I let it sit. All right, bulls, let's step on in. Let's get away from this sideways range. ATR still holding on to the low 50s, so I'm happy about that. Sitting at 53 here on the average range of a 5-minute bar. Prairie, what's up? How we doing? Biggie says, so Nico, you gonna be my neighbor in South Florida or what? Yeah, we'll see, man. We're looking. Where are you at? We're in South Florida. Obviously, don't get too specific because there's some weirdos in the chat. Most of you guys are cool. This is going to be a very, maybe out of touch take, but at risk of sounding that way, I will say it because I know a lot of you guys, in my pursuit to make as many retail traders be able to do this full time so that they can spend more time with their families and actually watch their fucking kids grow up, which is the entire point, right? I know a lot of you guys are also going to deal with this. Here's the thing. When you make all of your money with a computer, trading, right? You don't have to live anywhere. And then it's a weird thing, because it's like, you would think that this is a really easy decision. It's not. Because there's a lot of cool places to go, man. And I'll tell you what, having multiple places where you live sounds really awesome, but like, come on, dude. Like I gotta pack up all my shit so we can fly across the country and then unpack all of our shit just to be like, okay, we're home again. It's like, I don't know. Come on, dude. So you kind of gotta pick a home base, and it's like, well, we don't have to be anywhere, so what do we want? Well, I don't know. It depends on the day what we want, right? So it's like there's a lot of cool places to live. Park City, Utah is fucking awesome. Miami is fucking awesome. But some days you're going to love both of them, and some days you're going to not really love either of them. Or the one that you pick. So it's like, I think the reality is just be okay with that. Pick one of them, go, and then if it's like, let's try the other one. Then you do that. But it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, a lot of you guys are going to face this, by the way. And some of you are like, no, I know where I'm going. I'm a little bit, I'm happy that you're so, you have so much clarity on location. Because that's one of those things that I think, you know, is a little bit like, it's not so easy, I think. Because there's such different vibes depending where you go. It's a totally different lifestyle, but at the end of the day, you just do what you do each day anyway. So is it really that different? Not really. Nashville is sweet. All right, Bears, you want that wick low at 27? Do it. How long have I been in this trade? It's been 30 minutes, 35 almost minutes. Goodness. Question, is today the last day for those legacy accounts? You got one more day. One more, but yeah, you better go hit it. You better go hit it. Code BIG. Code BIG. $59 all in for the 100K intraday trailing accounts at Apex. Code BIG. Well, this trade, I mean, what, at best this thing had me, yeah, 33 points in the money. That's not enough. See if these bears are able to clip me. ATR still maintaining 51. Interestingly so. Yeah, California's a beautiful state, man. You know, it's interesting because I think obviously the gut reaction complaint is you end up giving over half of your money to the government, which is crazy. That's wild. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people consider that cost of living, while I'm sure many complain about it in California in general, if you look at it, it gets baked in to the cost of living, especially housing. Because if you look at comparable houses in similar enough locations that you can sort of make a comparison in a state with no state income tax versus California, I think the fact that people in California are paying such heavy state income taxes gets baked into the cost of that home, for example, or that place to live. So I do think people don't really consider that it balances out a little bit. It definitely doesn't balance out completely, unless you're really, really house heavy, financially speaking. But it definitely does a little bit. However, it's hard to wrap your head around that you're paying that much in tax. That's a lot. That's a lot. Texas, beautiful place. All right, we got these bulls trying to step in. There's the rollover in the open of bar 35. Question, could you move your stop to under bar 34? No. No, because I would not get long on 34. One of the biggest things inside of RAM that it's like one of the first things I go into in the tomb is I think of everything as a buy or sell decision, regardless of my current position, whether I'm long, flat, or short. Okay, so if I'm long and I get an additional buy decision, you have options. You can add, move your stop. If I'm long and I'm still in the trade, but I get a sell decision, then I cut it early. If I'm flat and I get a buy decision, then I get long, right? I think that's a much more, I don't think many traders think that way, but to me it's so obvious. All right, Bears, you've tried a few times now. What you got? Big sideways rancher at this point. Let's see if these Bears can take out that wick low at 27. So again, if you're just joining us, I've been sitting in this trade since the close of bar 27. So far, these bulls have had me maybe 33 points at best in the money, which of course was not enough. Still is not enough. So the disciplined thing to do, while many traders take things early, that's a death sentence. It's a trap. Man, are you kidding me, Bears? I would be very surprised if they don't clip me here. Question, if you do end up getting clipped out, does your bias then change to the downside? No, not yet. Not particularly. No, sir. I'd have to get an additional setup. Just because I get stopped doesn't make it a short setup, right? Okay, that's actually a good clarification to what I said previously. A sell decision that is my stop loss is the point in which the setup, I should say the edge in the setup, comes down, 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 and then clips and flips to break even or negative expected value. Ideally, which I use price action-based stops, but my goal is to make that the exact point on every stop I put it out, at least based on my best estimate. All right, we got 35 rolling over here into bar 36. I think they got me. But I gotta tell you, if they don't, we've got... If this turns around, this would be exponentially better than the original Miracle on Wall Street #1. Because this thing has had, what, 2, 3, 4 tests now? If you want to include 29, you could say 29 as well, the wick low bar 29. It's ridiculous. Question, would you take another trade even though it's 12:30? Yeah, man, I don't care what time it is. If there's a setup, I put it on. I already know what the volatility change is based on looking at the ATR, right? Doesn't matter to me what time it is. As long as there's liquidity and reasonable, moderate, or higher volatility. Question, what's your opinion on using a tick chart? Fine. It's just a different way to look at the data. If you like tick charts, have at it. I like time-based charts because they're predictable. I don't mean in terms of direction necessarily, of course. I mean in terms of rollovers. And of course, there's also that slight benefit of self-fulfilling prophecy volatility on the top of the minute on time-based charts, at least minute and up time-based charts. All right, there we go. Got it. Let's see if this copier. The more accounts you have, the longer it takes to get flat. But we are flat without fail. Okay, let's keep it pushing here. We got bar 36. ATR is 50. God, that trade took just about all day. Not really. I got long on the close of 27. They took me maybe 33 points in the money and then just turned into a big sideways range. So now I'm looking at this. And we need to get away from this. What did I say way the hell back here? I said 28K, worst case scenario, we test it and just go sideways for 45 minutes. Well, now we've been sideways for 45 minutes. So maybe I should keep my mouth shut about sideways trading ranges. Question, Nico, if you're in a buy trade, sitting long, and you see a new buy setup forming, do you add or prefer moving stop loss? With prop firms, I prefer to move my stop loss because adding really quickly in prop firms starts making your position size maybe a little too big for the drawdown you're given in these prop firms. Personal accounts, you can do either or both. Or both. You have a lot more, obviously, freedom of position sizing in personal accounts, but still, don't just size yourself massively. But if you are trading small enough to begin with in comparison to your personal account size, then you can certainly do that. Question, why are you using time-based bars instead of tick-based bars? Because I like time-based bars. It doesn't matter, you guys. It's a different way to look at the data. I prefer time-based. They offer predictable, time-based rollovers with a small added benefit of top-of-the-minute volatility. Yeah, Danny, I trade both. The answer is always both. The answer is always all of it. We got bar 37 here, attempting to break downside. Now we've got that 20 EMA again, bottom of the barrel relevance here for me. I really don't care too much. But watching 37 here. Trying to move away from 28K. Eventually we got to move away from 28K. Let's hope it's right now. Big dog, what happened to you yesterday? Yeah, I lost power, and then, my bad, by the way, we only got, hit by a tornado. Sorry, guys. A small thing happened, so I had to check out for the day. Luckily, we weren't in the direct path, but it still got pretty bad by us, but other people had it much, much worse. So, praying for them. Grateful we weren't in the direct path. All right, 37 wicking right back into the range. What did I tell you guys? These ranges are brutal. They're brutal. 80% of breakout attempts will eventually fail. Question, Nico, how much do you think is a good amount to create a personal account? What's your experience level? How much money do you have? Don't share that with us, please, but these are the things you got to ask. There's no answer. What I wouldn't do is go barely above the the margin maintenance requirement for the contract size you want to trade. Just go barely above that and then do it that way, because that's you're giving yourself no room. But anything above that, and sizing yourself appropriately, assuming you're already a profitable trader, it's just a business decision for you. Daniel says, so what you're saying is you were not prepared for a tornado. Shame on you. Well, actually, it hadn't hit when the power went out and we lost the stream here. We took cover in time. And we had to stay in cover for a while, but I'm hearing that this tornado was what's known as, and I'm not a meteorologist, so forgive me, but I believe they call it an atmospheric accident because there was like a very small single digit, like 1 or 2% probability that day of a tornado, and it ended up being a very large one. So there was almost no heads up at all, which is worst case scenario for everybody. All right, we got bar 38. 3 minutes. Come on, 38. Let's get down, close up nice and clean beneath the wick low of 37. Yeah, Canada, I think you might be right, big dog. You can swap tornadoes for hurricanes. But a real hurricane really only hits the path, a direct path. What is it, like once every 5 to 7 years on average? All right, what do you guys think in chat? This is not rhetorical, I'm asking. Do you guys think we bounce back up and maintain this as a big sideways trading range? Or do you think this fails, we take out the wick low of 37 and head downside in more of a bear trend, or at least a soft bear channel? Say range or bear. Okay, we got range, range, range. Range, range, bear. We got news straddling the line. Yeah, I got it. I gotta go with range, man. Question! Big, do you ever have an issue with the Affordable Indicators copy trader where it says you are flat, but then you check TradeAvate and you still have a position? No. What I will say is, do you have the auto flatten feature turned on, or have you updated? That was brought into the dashboard, I guess the copier in general, the tool. It's gotta be like months and months ago, I think. But how often are you updating? And if you have been updating, make sure that that's on. I don't really have that issue. I used to have that problem, but ever since they brought in that update, I don't have that problem anymore. So we got these bulls taking us right back into a range. JM, what's up? How we doing? Ascend. Wall, how are we? Canada says, look into it. Lived there 2 years ago. Ocean 4. Best bang for your buck in Sunny Isles. Is it on the Oceanside Strip? Yes, it is. Oh, that's south, right? That's on the south side of Sunny Isles. Yeah, it's kind of middle south side. Yeah, I'll look at it. I gotta tell you, the north half of Sunny Isles Beach, I much prefer. I don't really know what it is. It seems less busy. I don't know, like you got the big beach, the public beach right there to the south. If you're too close to the south side of Sunny Isles, the beach seems to get just busier and busier, where the further north you go, it seems to chill out a little bit. All right, Bulls, 248 out. Oh yeah, I know the Jade Ocean building, of course, my man. All right, 39, 225. Oh yeah, Canada, 7,400 for a 2-2 is a. What year was that? That's a steal. That's a steal, man. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of you guys, but you gotta understand, it's a beautiful town, city, I guess. I'd probably call it more like a town. Fucking tremendous place. Alright, so these bulls, all you guys who said range were basically dead on, because here we are bouncing right back into the range. Now we gotta see if we slow coming into that high of day, which is the wick high of 31. Or are you looking to re-enter? So I'm watching this. I know that this is a big trading range. I just know it is. So anything that I can make sense of according to RAM, I will hit. But, you know, in ranges, typically I'm looking more scalp, range, limit order reversion stuff. So it's less of an idea, or I should say, it's less of a concern of doing logical things and much more of a concern of, you know, can I manage my risk effectively? Want to work out at Fitness Time in Sunny Isles. Is that Kodiak now? I think that might be called Kodiak now. I don't know if it's the same one. So this market, as we discussed earlier, is now infatuated. It came true. It is infatuated with 28K, and I'm not a fan of that, I gotta tell you. JM says it's tempting. It certainly is. It certainly is. I'd say it's tempting for me right now to get short and risk the wick high of 31. The problem is, if I was going to do that, I would need a much better, not much better, but I would need a better entry. And it's certainly not the highest grade setup at all. I would classify that like a B, probably a B range setup, if not B minus, probably closer to B. And we know range setups are already slightly inferior to the king of everything, which is trend continuation setups. We love it. 2 minutes! 2 minutes till Big Bar 40 closes. You know, yesterday we were talking real estate and I never got to finish my thought because it was in the power goes out and all of a sudden we're getting hit by a tornado. So let's finish that thought. A lot of you guys, I'm probably going to speak to your pain. How many of you guys lately have been looking to purchase a home, whether it's a house or a condo or whatever it may be? It's almost as if no matter where you look right now, which is crazy, the entire housing market is flipped upside down. It is cheaper. Now you could say, well, you're building equity. I get it, dude. I get it. But it's cheaper monthly if you're going to finance the property to rent it, which is crazy. Crazy. Insane. I recently saw a headline. Some of our people in the real estate industry chime in here and let me know if I'm full of shit or not. There are more sellers. Wait. Yeah, there were like some X value multiple of sellers more than there are buyers. I was like, what the fuck? It's crazy. We got bar 41, still in this range. Again, my biggest temptation right now is to sit short. Yeah, big buyer's market. The problem is that, is it really a buyer's market? Is it a true buyer's market? Because the rates are so stupid that I wouldn't necessarily say these buyers are in the driver's seat. Found that out when I was running up numbers for us. It's like, shit, dude. Do I really care about the equity that much? I don't know. Not really. You gotta live somewhere, man. A house is always gonna be an expense. I was in real estate for years. before all this, obviously, when I was much younger. It's always going to be an expense. Your house is not going to make you rich as fuck, okay? Just, you got to live somewhere. You're probably going to lose money on it. Just expect that you will. If you end up making money on your house, tremendous. You're in the driver's seat. Just expect you're probably going to lose whether you buy, rent, or whatever, and make your money elsewhere. You're not going to get rich off of your one home that you live in. Obviously, investing heavily in multifamily, etc., is a much different game. Tremendous wealth builder. All right, let's see if these bulls can take out high a day. Current high a day is the wick high of 31. And they will. We got a new high a day here on bar 41. We'll see if the bulls can maintain that. Again, the probability here states that they won't be able to. And your initial gut reaction, which is a logical gut reaction, so I appreciate you having that, is, well then, Nico, why wouldn't you just get heavy short right now if the probability is that the bulls aren't going to be able to maintain that breakout? Well, it's because how do I manage my risk? That's the problem here, right? It forces me to use an arbitrary stop. Look at bar 37. It eventually failed, but after it goes how far? It's completely arbitrary. Right, so I'm going to let 41 here close up, and we'll watch 42. And see if I have any kind of range opportunity here. Again, I'm thinking range scalp, range scalp, range scalp until that is no longer true. Until I get bopped over the head with a log that says, hey, dummy, it's a trend now. And I'll say, all right, let's trade the trend. Yeah, Canada. I saw all the same shit. And the crazy thing is it's in like every price range. From bare bottom to top of the top. It's like, it's ridiculous. You know what? One of the biggest things, I'm looking at Machado's comment here. With investments, you know what everyone forgets, and I've been screaming this from the rooftop for years. For years. The thing that everybody forgets when they're looking at investments is of inflation. Nobody adjusts for inflation. They're like, oh my God, if I invest X amount of dollars, I'll have how much when I'm 74? First of all, I mean, yeah, you'd rather have money than not at 74, but wouldn't you rather also have money when you're 34 or 44 or 54 or 24? I mean, come on, like, right? You're worth more than just finally having some money at, 83. Though, obviously, that's better than the alternative, but you get what I'm saying. The problem with so many investments is everyone looks at it and they forget about inflation. It's like, sure, you will have however much money at whatever age you put into the online investment calculator. You didn't, what was your fatal flaw? You didn't adjust for inflation. And so many people, they look at these basic, if I buy and hold the S&P and I invest this much every month. Now, I'm not trying to like tear down your dreams here. I'm just giving you a reality check. You need to adjust for inflation because the last thing I want is for you to 40 years to go by and you get there and you're like, holy fuck, I'm in poverty. No one told me this. You know what the answer is, by the way? It's the same thing when we talk about taxes. You know what the answer is? You just need to make more money. That is the answer. Obviously, investing is a great thing. It's tremendous. It's wonderful. But the most powerful thing is how much money can you actively make? your income. That's the difference maker. All right, 348 out, ATR 46, still hanging out in this range. Still hanging out in this range. Bulls having trouble taking us above the wick high of 41. Okay, bar 42, if it can close, I wouldn't want it closing just above the wick high of 41, but if it can close meaningfully above the wick high of 41, that would be the first bar to close, I would say, meaningfully above this previous high of day, because 41 kind of just met the wick high of 31. And that would be what I would still call the early trade, but I would be willing to take it if it was a nice clean bull body. 2 minutes, 20 seconds out until we find out bar 42. By the way, hey guys, if you haven't yet, I greatly appreciate you doing so. Hit like here on YouTube, man. Hit the like button. Or dislike, big dog, whatever you gotta do. Press a button. It is free, it takes half a second, and it helps out tremendously. We appreciate it. You could already have had it done by now, big man. And I appreciate you doing so. Now, I would also appreciate bar 42 getting above meaningfully the wick high of 41, giving me a nice clean bull close. Come on. ATR is good. I mean, it's 47. We can't complain too much. But I suppose we can a little bit, at least about the wiki indecisive range action. Now, here's the thing. If I were going to trade this range right now, I'm just talking out loud here. Really, I think we're looking at probably more like a wedge. However, it's been a good amount of time now that really this has been the look. So, what I can do is get short if I can get a fill. I want that fill. I don't want a lower fill, because I'm really trying to thread the needle here and use the wick high of 41. There we go. And I'll use the wick high of 41. And see, can these bulls, I'm sorry, the bears maintain that range? And if they take out the wick high of 41, it's not too much skin off my back. We're looking at what, 27? Yeah, 27 points. ATR is 45. So a little more than half an ATR. It's no big deal as far as risk here. And I'm betting range. So I'm keeping context in mind with the understanding that, hey, we may, as the day goes on here, we may develop into a much more meaningful look of, I don't know if I want to say bull trend, but soft bull channel, at least wedge, And when that occurs, then I'm looking for reasons to get long rather than range. But in the meantime, this is where I gotta sit. So bears, take us back into that range. Taz says, I always forget to hit like until you remind me. LOL, just did, my man. It's okay, as long as you hit it when I ask, hat in hand. Faded bears, let's go. Niles says, let's go! Back after 4 months. Well, where you been, big dog? That's 4 months of opportunity out the window. We're glad you're back. Don't you leave again. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, Niles, we're glad you're healthy, big dog. Now come take the market by the fucking neck and do it to him. Come on, you bears! There you go. Fade it, fade it, fade it. There we go. There's better than a full R. All right, get flat. Copy yours flat. Keep it moving here. Little scalp. Not too bad. Keep it pushing. All right, Bears trying to suck us back to 28K. You got that 20 EMA, and you've also got that lower third of this big sideways trading range. If you're just joining us here, zoom out a little bit to give you some context of what we're looking at. Basically, that's the current look because it's been so long-lived with the potential for this to become more of a look. Big bull wedge. So watching both here with a focus on the big sideways trading range. All right, 43 going to close up, roll over into 44. Right. So 44 hesitating. It looks to me, now if the bulls can bounce this here, all of a sudden it starts looking like we are looking at that big bull wedge that I previously drew. See that? Flat top, bull wedge. However, this big sideways range there and there is still, it's got to be the baseline assumption. Again, I'm always reminding myself when it's a big sideways range, I'm banging my head against the wall. Range, range, range. Nothing else until until you get bonked in the head and it's, hey, dummy, it's a trend. No longer a range. And I'll say, okay, it's straight to trend. Context is number one, always. It's never not number one. Pipe, we're all good, brother. Appreciate you checking in. The greater one is in me, says thanks, Nico. Watching your stream today helped me pass my 25K eval. Fucking ram emoji. My man! Out here killing it. Now go past 19 more. I want to see a whole bunch of payouts. Big dog, I want you checking back in mere weeks and saying, Nico, my life is financially different since I passed that 25K eval. I am robbing these prop firms. I'm concerned for their well-being after my trading with them. That's what I want to hear. Big dog. All right, bar 44. We got 2 minutes. Bull's trying to bounce us up. Let's see. The platform you're looking at, this is Ninja Trader. This is Ninja Trader, and I'm plugging my prop firms in with the Ninja Trader connections that you can do. All right, Bears coming in right here to 28K, that tier 1 level, that round number that we've been ranging around basically since bar 24. At least in hindsight, right? Yeah, you could say more like bar 28. Now again, remember, the wick low of 37 is kind of where I'm watching. It's really easy to look at 42, 43, 44 and say, man, I should get short. This thing's going to break lower. I hope you're right. I hope it does break lower. But for me, bang my head on this desk and say range, range, range until it's not. And even if this happens to break out, that's great. I'll trade it to the short side once it does. And not a second before, because 80% of breakout attempts when in a sideways trading range will eventually fail. It takes work to remind yourself of this when you're looking at setups like this, by the way. It takes work. Ongoing. It's got to stay top of mind. All right, so we're watching the 44 close into the 45 open. Let's see what 45's got in store. Yeah, Def, that's correct. That's correct. Question. Nico, is it worth buying 10 to 20 more 50K legacy accounts at Apex with code BIG? Says I already have 20 funded, though some are in drawdown. What do you recommend? It's just a math problem. That's it. It's just a math problem. Look at all of your fundeds. And, you know, you should have an idea, like kind of on average, when you get your average funded account, how long are you keeping it? Which, by the way, longer isn't necessarily better. The goal here is ROI, so it has to do with how aggressive you are trading them, right? which somebody who is trading them more aggressively might keep their fundeds for actually less long on average than somebody else. But if they're making a better ROI or more money in totality, isn't that kind of the goal? So the math problem is this. If you think that based on your averages, you're going to need to replenish, whether it's 3, 5, 10, or all of them, your fundeds with a new set within the next like 30 days, then yeah, it makes sense to buy more. You're allowed to keep evals in the stable even when you have a fully packed funded portfolio, right? But if you tend to be less aggressive in your fundeds and you're like, well, I don't usually, even when I'm in this drawdown situation, these things will oftentimes last me another 4 or 5 months, then the answer is no, you shouldn't buy any more evals. And I'll tell you guys, there's definitely a sweet spot here. You don't want to be so aggressive that these prop firms start looking at you like, what is this guy doing? Like, and start questioning their relationship with you. You don't want that. And then you also, if you're never getting to payouts because you're trading 10 minis, like that's a problem. But there's a sweet spot, man. Trading 1 micro in all of your fundeds forever because you're like, well, I want to hold on to these for life. The goal isn't to hold on to your fundeds for life. If it was, we'd all be trading 1 micro per account, right? And trading YM, for example. No. The goal is ROI. The goal is to make money. Who gives a shit if you hold on? Who cares how long you hold on to fundeds? It doesn't matter. All it does is help your ego say, wow, I'm a really good trader. Your family doesn't give a shit what set of fundeds you're on. What they care about is, wow, I can't believe the progress I'm seeing in you. From 2 years ago to now, you are a different motherfucker. We are so grateful. Thank you for taking care of us and providing for us the way that you do. And especially you men out there, you're like feeling pride right now, me just talking about it. We love this shit. The goal is to have a positive ROI, a good ROI, and make money. The goal is not to, hold on, I have the same set of fundeds that I've had for a year and a half. It's like, okay, but are you making money? Like that's the point, right? Johnny, what's up, brother? How we doing? Nah, that line on screen is bottom of the barrel relevance for me. I barely ever refer to it, and when I do, it's still bottom of the barrel relevance, but that's a 20 EMA. Just for context. All right, we got 43 seconds out. ATR 47, that Wicklow 37 is what my eyes are on. Remember what I said? 42, 43, 44? Gotta be careful just slapping that short because you're like, man, that looks like a good setup. The context is wrong. You missed the first tier. So many people do this. I don't get it. You missed tier 1 of RAM. It's not setup. It's context first. And here you are, hesitating to the downside. So bar 45. Let's see what it's got. It's going to roll over here in 10 seconds into 46. Good to have you, Johnny, big dog. We love it. Do I take another range scalp? I think I do. And I'm going to use the Wicklow 37. Come on, there you go. There you go. I'm betting range always until it's not. And as long as I can make sense of the risk, which here I, of course, can, at Wicklow 37. Chat says, blew my funded account before I could take my payout. I got to figure out my strat on withdrawing. What a lot of guys would do right now is just sit here and berate you to everyone else. What I'm going to tell you is, are you profitable though? Are you positive ROI? You don't have to answer. I'm speaking rhetorically. If the answer is yes, then the answer is pick up the pieces and move the fuck on and go again. Run it back. It's fine. The worst thing you can do is sit for a week and say, oh, I had 5,000, 15,000, 30,000, 50,000 in my hands and I let it slip. You're worth more than that, dude. I want to see, you know, development into far bigger numbers than that. I want to see you lose a $15,000 payout and say, give a fuck, run it back. And have a $30,000 payout inside of a week and a half. And be like, what was I upset about again? Oh yeah, that 15,000 and whatever, dude. Keep it moving. Now, if you did dumb things to blow it, then you should feel a little bit bad about that. But even then, move on. Just don't make the mistake again. All right, bulls. Fade that guy right back into the range. Let's do it. All right, you bulls, let's step in, man. Faded. All right, we're gonna get a new bar here. Bar 47, opening up in 20 seconds. ATR is 44. That's probably gonna fall here now, because 46 is such a small bar. Yep, ATR down to 40. You're on the rollover from 46 into 47. Let's see if these bulls can fade us back. There we go. Keep that moving. Keep that moving. Doesn't it always kind of feel that way? Oh, there. Oh, shit. Oh, the minute I start saying what I was about to say, there we go. Give me a fill. Motherfucker. Full ATR. Get flat. What I was about to tell you was, doesn't it always feel that way? As soon as you enter, it just goes sideways. Someone's looking out for me. Faded right back into the range. Okay, flat. That is 2 out of 3 on the day. Beauty. Keep it pushing. Question, how do you decipher between half an ATR exit and a full R exit on scalps? It's pretty nuanced, to be honest with you, Big Trev. That's more tomb stuff. A lot of it is risk, probability expectation, ATR context, it's deep. It's deep. But hang on, I think you'll get the hang of it. At least the surface level. For example, in a big trend, if it's a huge bull trend and it's a small signal bar, like less than a full ATR, a lot of times I'm taking a better than one-to-one reward to risk because it's a continuation trade within a trend. It's a small bull body signal bar, which means I don't have to put on that much risk. And I'm going for a full ATR, maybe even better than a full ATR. If I'm going to walk away and leave my orders out, I might go 1.5 to 2 on the reward to risk. Now, if I'm in a range and I'm scalping, a lot of times that reward to risk ends up being negative with reasonably higher probability. That trade was actually better than one-to-one reward to risk, just because the risk was so tight and it's volatile, which leaves me a lot of room in the range before we start getting back to that midpoint of the range where the rubber band is loose, right? And it doesn't really have too much reason to go up or down anymore. It's more 50-50 in the middle of the range. That's where I kind of like to be out if I can help it. Well, tremendous little surprise there on that scalp, little pop. Putting me over 40 points in the money, pulling it. Man, if you haven't, hey, again, reminder, hit like on the stream. Appreciate you doing so. We're not even to 100 likes yet, man. Let's hit it. Come on now. Perry says, hello, watched you the last 3 days. I'm new to trading. Well, stick around, big dog. Happy to have you. They say I was tempted to go short, but I followed you on the last 2 scalps because of your comments about the range. Look, yeah, I'm always reminding myself, range, range, range. When it's a range, my baseline assumption is range until it's not. And I'm only taking trades when I can logically, using price action, manage my risk rather than using arbitrary stops. Look, guys, when it's a trend, you might lose a range scalp or 2, whatever. But when it's a trend, you're getting a better opportunity and it's going to be obvious. It's going to smack you across the head with a log and say, hey, dummy, it's a trend. It's no longer a range. I would rather have that be the case because it's so obvious once it is, at least within reason, as obvious as it can be in trading, right? Probability-wise. We always speak in probabilities, not certainties here. But that is far less dangerous to miss just the right? I wouldn't take it anyway. Just the first few bars of a true trend than to assume every breakout in a range is going to turn into a trend, because it's not most of the time, 80% of the time. Boosted, I think it is. I think it is public. Isn't that video out? It's public, man. Go look. Scroll down on the channel. It's out. Danny says, question. Is it a stage of trading prop firms that you're able to pass evals with no problem, but you keep sabotaging the funded accounts? Yeah, it is. Spoiler alert. So I take profit super quick and either end with small green days or tilt and below them. You just have to brute force the discipline to not, quote unquote, take profit super quick. You should be taking profit when you know you need to be taking profit and not a tick sooner. You know, people like to laugh, but I love it. If I'm 43 points in the money, but my target is 43.5 points, I'm not pulling it. And people think that's ridiculous. I think it's kept me doing well. Look, guys, it's a slippery slope. If you take it 3 ticks early, what's to stop you from taking it 3 points early? And then when that doesn't serve you and it turns around and stops you out, then you say, well, maybe I should take it 5 points early. This is all subconscious, by the way. You just start doing it. And then it's like, 5 points, turn around, stop me out after getting me, 2 points away from my 5-point early target. I'm going to take it 8 points early this time. Where does it end? You're giving away your edge, which is hard enough to get as it is, on a silver platter. And you'll be out of the industry in 6 months. I don't want that for you. But fucking tough reality, dude. That's what it's going to be. So I prefer very strict discipline because it treats me well. Even if on a trade here or there, oh no, it got within 2 ticks and turned around and stopped me out. Guess what? Miracle on Wall Street happens the other way too. Gets within a tick of your stop, turns around, hits your full disciplined take profit. It happens both ways. Stop focusing on the one you didn't like. How you guys doing today, by the way? Are we killing it? What's up? We got these bulls trying to take us back into the range. Big Trev says back to break even. Good. Happy to hear it. I guess everyone else in the chat must be just deep red because no one wants to say anything. Which, by the way, is okay. If someone wants to talk shit about you being red today, I promise you they are not coming from a place above you. Nobody punches down, dude. It's weird. No one does that. And if they do, they themselves are an anomaly fucking weirdo. No one does that. Jerome says, made my money last night, big dog. Niles, green in all accounts, great day so far, good work. Edge, today happens to be a green day. I love how you voiced that, or how you put that. Big Roy up 165 points. Oh, Roy! What's the range on the day here today? 27.6. Okay, less than 500 points. About 475 points. So Big Roy here has made 34.7% of the day's range in points. So about 35% of the day's range in points. The goal that I think every trader should have is at the end of the day, on average, not every day, but at the end of your average day, if you can make 25% of the day's range in points, on average, you are a monster. Monster. Top 1%, without a doubt. Now, if you can make the full day's range in points on your average day, you're like one of the best traders on the planet. 25% though, that's already a big goal, man. Shoot for that. On average, don't force it. Don't make it let you do don't let it make you do dumb things. But it's a great mid-long-term goal. And if you can do that, you're going to be so rich, it'll be stupid. It's tough to do, but it's a great goal. All right. Bar 49, 415 out. So ATR is dipping here still, down to 43 now. Hanging out right around 28K. Big news! How we doing? Says some days I'm flowing with the scalps like a ninja. Other days not so much. Back to break even after a good morning. No more range trades for me today. Protecting the downside is more important. Yeah. Plus, especially if you're, you know, not to say our friend here is so emotional or anything. That's not at all big news here. But if you're emotionally elevated at all, even a few percent, it's like, hang it up, walk away. You're not going to make better decisions than you would at rest, right? So, and by the way, hey, you know, with a small sample size that is one trading day, some days you're going to have a red morning and finish the day green. Some days you're going to have a green morning and finish the day red or break even in whatever combination you can think of. It's all going to happen. It doesn't matter. What matters is after a mid and long-term sample size, you throw all your trades together. Did it produce a predictable profit? If the answer is yes, you're killing it. Keep doing your job. News says, when I feel like I'm not seeing things well, I try to stop putting on risk. Attaboy. That's exactly what you should be doing. Good work. Motivation Factory says, I've had a rough day. I was down 1,400 at one point and have clawed my way back to a red 86 bucks. Now, the real question is, first of all, tremendous, but the real question is, were the decisions you made to get back to 86 bucks after being down 1,400, were they good decisions? Jerome says, question, I haven't had a losing day since April 16th. Am I just getting lucky or is it possible I have an edge? Jerome, how many trades on average are you taking per day on average? I get it, you might take one on one day and 50 on another day, or you might take 2 per week or 150 a day. How many are you taking per day on average? I can't answer that question without that data. Yeah, Niles, 100%, dude. If you want to take that approach, have at it. All right, haven't had a losing day since April 16th, taking at least 10 trades a day on average. Now, the second thing I need to know, what is your average reward to risk? And the reason I ask is, are you taking trades with like 99% probability, right? That you're risking 200 points to make 4 points. Are you doing that? That's the other, side that I kind of have to know here to answer that question. All right, we got, by the way, 10 seconds here. Until, you know it, big bar 50. Well, Jerome, that's not what I asked, man. The question is how much higher? Again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but my point for all you guys, I'm not just talking to Big Jerome here. What I am saying is if you're risking on average, let's say, I don't like using points but let's just use points to make the numbers easy because volatility is different every day. But if you're risking on average 20 to make 12, but your win rate is in the 90s, you clearly have edge, right? But if you have a 91% win rate, but you're risking, 200 to make 2, you're a losing trader when the dust settles. So, that's my point. And if you're trading a very, very negative, like the last example, reward to risk, you're going to have an extremely high win rate, which is going to lead to very long win streaks. But when you lose, you're going to lose big. You can't have that. It's just a math problem. Just statistics is all. It's okay to have negative reward to risk. That's all right. Many traders do, and many traders who make a lot of money do have negative reward to risk even on average across all their trades. But their win rate is good enough across all those trades, when you throw it all together and look at it, that they still have positive expected value. This isn't a win rate question on its own. This isn't a reward to risk question on its own. They have to go together. Do you understand? If they don't go together, they mean nothing. Everything I just said proves that, right? All right, big bar 50. Halfway through. 223 out. Let's see. Big bar 50 is not too big today, is it? Still infatuated here with 28K, this market is. Going basically sideways. All right, guys. Hey, code BIG, B-I-G, Apex. You got one more day. 59 bucks, all in. No activation fee on the 100K intraday accounts. Again, that's at Apex, all in, code BIG, no activation fee, B-I-G. Take Profit Trader 40% off. No activation fee, saves 130 bucks on the activation fee alone, plus 40% off, which is stupid. Go hit it. Daily payouts over there. We love it. You need money coming in. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a tremendous rest of your Tuesday. Big dogs. Fuck.